All right.
So what are you guys drinking tonight?
Yeah, what are you guys drinking tonight?
I am drinking a experimental braggot. We're going to try to go and do a collaboration with a local brewery. So I've got a English brown ale with a fair amount of orange blossom honey in it, and it turned out quite nice. So about 6% alcohol.
Nice.
That's super fruity.
What about you, Eric?
Excellent. So I'm drinking a mix of our Discovery draft mead and some local ginger beer.
Oh, nice.
It's a lot of fun taking meads and blending them with other things. So that's something that I like to do.
Okay. And so it's Discovery. Would you say Ghost mead?
Discovery is our flagship draft mead. It is Orange Blossom Honey Traditional.
Okay. And ginger beer. Ginger beer, not bear. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm updating the show page to show that stuff. So, tell us a little bit about the background for Meridian Hive. You know, how did you guys get started? I mean, I've known you guys forever, but you know, tell us a little bit about how you guys got things started and you know, how you got into this biz.
Yes, so the start of the business was back in 2012. We were Mike and I met through the Austin Zealots Homebrew Club. We are homebrewers, all got in this game in 2008, I think. It seems like a bunch of us. And just became absolutely enamored with the meads. And Mike can talk more about the meads. He started making mead before I did.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Eric. We got together in the homebrewing scene, and then both of us are national BJCP guys, and I got introduced basically to meads by being asked to judge stuff there. And I was really enamored by traditional meads and how the different honeys were producing these very interesting, unique flavors, because really all of my exposure had been wildflower or maybe some clover honey. And I was like, wow, this some blueberry honey is there's no blueberries in this. This is quite interesting. And that's where I started experimenting. I started buying a lot of different varietal honeys and really kind of going out there and going kind of crazy with it, just the whole hobby itself. And so that's where the passion came from, is just an interest in the fermentation sciences, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mike, I've been hanging out with you forever and a day at Mazer Cup. I mean, God,
yeah, I've been going to Mazer Cup for the last 6 years, maybe.
Yeah, at least.
So something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Eric, you were saying? Sorry.
Yeah, we're both engineers. We like to tinker. The scientific side definitely gets the bug. I'm at Saccharomyces on Twitter, so you know that goes a long way toward saying my state of mind when it comes to this. It's way more than a hobby. It's an obsession.
Yeah, pretty much. So, in the beginning of us starting this whole business venture, we were looking at just in Austin. It was kind of growing at a certain time, and we're like, well, we could take this to the next level. And both Eric and I had an interest in pretty much beer and wine and mead, and we were just thinking, like, well, you know, no one's really presented anything that's similar to the drinkability. It's 9 months of hot here in Austin. So if you have something that's a little bit semi-sweeter on the off-dry side of things, and even carbonated, I was looking at the various things that were on the market, and I was like, I think there's a room for people in Austin to really enjoy something that they wouldn't necessarily have, and that's kind of where the venture really kind of took off in its infancy in 2012. So.
Cool.
Very cool. So, at what point did you guys go, hey, we could make a business out of this?
Oh, yeah. I think, I was the first one to approach Mike, and I don't remember exactly what his reaction was. I mean, maybe you can remember at first. But I think, we said, hey, there aren't a lot of meaderies down here in Texas. Texas is like, the second largest state, and we drink a lot of alcohol down here. So there's a big opportunity to build a business out of this. So I put together the business model, and Mike was working on the business plan for a brewery, and I think I just got him too drunk one night, and he actually agreed to do this with me.
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar. Yep.
Well, now
something along that line.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like we met back in the days before the Mazer Cup. You know, when the other mead competition, when the Mead Fest was going on.
No, I didn't get started until. No, I wasn't involved with that.
Okay,
but
okay.
Maybe a kindred spirit of mine.
Perhaps. Seems like I've known you forever. That's just what it is. So okay, you guys started to put this thing together. Was Session Meads the place where you started with this, or was that where you ended up coming to after realizing that Session Meads are, well, I don't know, fast, I guess?
Well, I started making a lot of different kind of meads. I was making big giant meads. I was making them with a bunch of different varietal honeys. I just had a lot of batches going at one particular time, and I was trying to, I was also making quite a bit of beer. So I was just really making a lot of stuff just for the adventure of fermenting things. I had a lot of stockpile. I wasn't really drinking all of it. I had a lot of friends that really enjoyed me being where I was, but I just really liked making a lot of different, really intense, I played with intensity of things and flavor profiles of certain things. And it's just I don't know how to really explain it. It's a
obsession.
It's obsession, right? That's what it is. It takes a life of its own at some point.
Yeah, it does. It does do that.
It's always exciting to see what Mike's going to come up with next when he gets back there and starts working on this pilot batches and some of the ideas he comes with. It's like, how in the world is that going to taste good? And then when he puts it on tap, and we're just like, wow, this is really awesome. So it works every time.
So you're the guy, Eric, that has to go, okay, well, he's come up with this thing. No, I need to get it in front of the people and market this and all of that.
Right. So that's always the challenge in this business. One of our mantra has become marketing, because the reality of it is 95% of the people out there just don't even know what mead is, or if they've had mead, they've had like maybe one or two meads at a rent fair, and they haven't really been introduced to the large number of styles and things that you can do with mead. And so it's really important that we put our best face on and really explain to people, there are all these different flavors that you can have in mead, all these ingredients, and here, try this. And every time they're blown away. We have pilot on right now. It's basically modeled after a candy bar, and people are just they melt when they try it. Right? It's like an almond joy mead, and
oh my god!
And so their minds are blown when they try that, and it's really cool. Once you get them in there and you get them in the tasting room, and they have that first mead, they're hooked after that. They're going to be a regular after that.
Okay, are you guys selling on like Vino Shipper or something? Because I gotta have some of that.
Oh yeah, we're on Vino Shipper.
Okay, cool. With the almond joy mead, because I want some.
Well, see, a lot of those I'm just doing small batches. I'm doing like 5-10 gallon batches, and we put them on our tap room, and people will just come in there, and that's part of the why you.
So we have to go visit.
So I have to go all the way to Austin, dude. Really?
Well, we use them to find out kind of what the market is interested in, because I can make a ton of different things, and in order for have a consistency of a business, you've got to have regular things that people can count on. So as we build those kind of outside the mainstays, I like to still have the whole almost brew pub sensibility about still being able to experiment, because it's a wide open range of things you can make. You're just pretty much limited. We're pretty much limited not to have any kind of cereal grain. That's pretty much the primary limitation, and so it leaves a whole lot of other things to add to it as an agricultural, meadery.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the reception been in Austin? Which is, I mean, arguably Austin's a pretty trendy town, so they like their music, they like their booze. So how did you guys get received when you opened the doors and let them come pouring in?
Eric? Well, we started out at the farmers market and cut our teeth at the farmers market and found that there were just a lot of people out there who had never been introduced to mead, and still it blows my mind. I mean, we've been at the farmers market for 2.5 years. We're there every weekend, and probably 80% of the people that come to our booth still have never tried mead, and it's just absolutely amazing to be able to introduce so many people to mead for the first time and have them come away with such a happy experience. It's been really great. And we've built a really great market in Austin, I think.
Awesome. That is really cool. I mean, arguably there are a lot of people in Austin, but I guess you're knocking them down one person at a time, huh?
It's essentially how it started, actually. Like a lot of it was organic, and there's also kind of understanding what is the market in Austin, because we had our expectations and trying to, guesswork, but the data wasn't published, so it was really, really hard to do a lot of deep diving, and had to make a lot of assumptions about stuff. So as we went out, it turned out the demographic was similar to what we were expecting, but also just there were a lot of surprises too. Just really the range of what people were asking for as far as sweetness levels. Some people were like, I only drink dry things. People were like, give me the sweetest thing you've got. And I was like, wow, that kind of puts me at a, where do I put, what kind of products do I make in order to answer those questions for the people that are interested in honey-based beverages, so it's just but it's apparently all over the place, so it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is kind of good, I suppose. It can be for every person, is I guess the bottom line for that, which is a kind of a great thing.
Yeah. So touching back on that, had either of you had mead before you first made it?
I had some Go ahead, Eric.
I had mead. The first really good mead that I had was at the Zealots. So the home brewers. Mark Shoppy, who is a 2-time Ninkasi winner. At the National Homebrewer Conference, he makes quite a few good meads, and his were probably the first that I tried, and also Dan and Joe Dewberry, very, very good mead makers, make quite a bit, and I was just absolutely enamored with their stuff, and I'd never had anything like it.
Okay.
Mark Shoppy was also my exposure as well. So,
okay, so he's like your pusher then, huh?
Well, you have the meetings with the homebrewers, and people just swing by. It's like, hey, would you like to try this? And you might be in the middle of a conversation, and somebody pours you, and then you take a second look, and you're like, what is this? And he's like, that's mead. And I was like, wow, that is surprisingly awesome. And that was my first thing. I listened to I think Ken had made, and the first time I made mead, and Ken made a lot of assumptions that when he's discussing stuff, temperature control is not that big a deal in Michigan, maybe where you have a basement, but in Pier and Beam House in the middle
it's a little bit
Texas,
different, yeah.
Totally different. So my first mead, I made it, and I was like, this is not the nectar of the gods. I don't know what I did wrong. So it made my eyes open up quite a bit. I was looking for a bottle tonight to bring in here and to just drink this tonight, and have something maybe prepared, like this braggot, to drink along with it in case it was my first mead attempt. But that's what had happened. Is I had a really good one from a home brewer, and then I tried to make my first one. I was like, man, there's something to this. I got to make this. So.
Yeah, so you got to put on your cuts when you have an open wound.
Yeah, my first one was like that, and it was 3 years, and somewhere during the 3 years of hiding in the basement, because I was ashamed to admit I'd ever made it, but didn't want to throw it out, it turned into Nectar of the Gods. I still don't know how, but one day
age solves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Apparently so, because it did on this one. So, it was basically then the homebrew club that got you guys into this then.
Yeah, we're fortunate. I think we have a lot of really, really good, high-quality homebrewers that think a lot about the science side of things, and they're very thoughtful with their sharing of their knowledge, and it's a very good camaraderie. And so people are just if you're very interested in the knowledge, they were more than welcome to peel off information for you. You still have to go do all the legwork yourself, but certainly like tips and tricks all day long. And so
yeah,
very, very nice exposure.
We don't learn all this stuff in a vacuum. I can't imagine, without the homebrew club, I don't think we would be here having this conversation. But also, just the relationships I built over the years, the friends I've made from homebrew talk, many friends, many long discussions, very scientific, long drawn out, some experiments, just the camaraderie that you form through the forums and at the homebrew clubs is just so key to becoming a really great brewer, and you can really tell the difference in and the folks who are part of that scene, it just seems like whenever they go pro, that their business just takes off that much faster because they have this great support group around them.
Yeah, I